Ass titties. Hello, trick theorists. Welcome back to Talking Tricks. My name's Frank.
I'm Jason, and today we have a special guest, Alex Hunter. Alex?
Yo, what's up?
Yep, so we're just gonna kind of shoot the shit with this legend right here, so yeah. Hey guys, it's just Future Frank right here. So, we actually had part of the conversation with Alex Hunter unfortunately cut. So I'm gonna start out with what we have recorded, and basically he was just talking about how he's been rock climbing a lot lately. So that's just the introduction to this section, and it should be, fine enough to carry you through the whole conversation. So yeah.
The goal of the climbing isn't for tricking. It's just kind of like a new hobby that I started doing the last few months. But
Yeah.
I think it definitely helped tricking. Like, I was
Yeah.
tricking last night, and even though I haven't been tricking as much lately, I felt really strong. Everything came out like really well. And
Yeah, that's actually such a real thing. Like, I've noticed, for example, for me, that sometimes I am like trick overloaded. Like, I've tricked every day for the past like 3 weeks, and it's to the point where it's not even that I'm sore, but I'm like, I've felt the repetitive motion so much that I almost need to like cleanse my palate, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
And so,
I was just about to ask Alex if he felt like, the improved like conditioning or like strength was necessarily a direct result of climbing, or if it was more of like a break from training and tricking and like, getting like you said, cleansing the palate, refreshing yourself.
yeah, I think there's something to that. So I only trick like once a week now, sometimes twice. But
Okay.
because of that, every time I trick, I'm like excited to trick.
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm just not as excited overall if I'm tricking every single day. It's still fun, but
Mhm.
those days of breaks like builds up the excitement. I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do on Friday? Oh, I can't wait for Friday. Or
Yeah.
can't wait for
Oh,
Tuesday.
man.
I'm more
I
excited.
remember, yeah, I remember back in the day, we used to have just like one home gym, and it was like only open on Fridays, but like Friday became like my fucking holy day. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, every day of the week, I'm like thinking, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna do this and this on Friday. I'm gonna write these combos. I'm gonna blah. I definitely noticed that when we switched to like, we can go to the gym at any fucking point we want, because there was a gym that let us do that. I did not have that exact exciting feeling that you're saying either. Like, I was just like, oh yeah, it's like, I'm excited, like it's gym day, but I'm not like, oh my god, like I'm
Yeah.
thinking about tricking 24/7 so I could build up and then like go to this one day and just throw down and shit. Like, you know what I
Sometimes
mean?
I think about it too much. Like, I can't wait for Friday and do this all day, and then nothing happens when I get to the
Yeah.
gym. That happens too.
I've
And there's
definitely
days
had that.
Yeah.
There's days I'm busy all day too. I'm doing stuff the entire day, and I get to the gym and I crush it. Like, my
Oh,
mind wasn't even really on it. I'm doing things all day.
Yeah, or I'll have that same thing. I'll have like a super busy day. I'm like, oh, dude, my gym session, I'm not feeling it. I think it's gonna be, ass, and then I end up like destroying it, like you were saying. Just like,
yeah.
oh well, whatever.
Dude, it's literally the curse of like whatever you're expecting, it's gonna be the exact fucking opposite of that, because I've noticed that too. I actually, my like, I want to say fourth or fifth triple cork I landed it after like a long ass hospital shift. Like, I was scribing, I think it was like a 10-hour shift, and I was like on a flight the day before, so I was like feeling like shit. And I was like, this gym session is it's gonna suck. I'm gonna come late. It's gonna be blah blah blah. And I landed triple cork, and I was like, what the fuck?
Maybe your body knows it has like something to overcome, so it gives you something extra.
Mm-hmm.
One of my best sessions. Remember that "Hi, how are you?" like jam?
I
Alex
love
loves
that video.
Alex
I was on a
loves
bus for like 8 hours. I was on the mega bus to go to LA that day, and then I got off the mega bus and went straight to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really good session. Oh, some of my best sessions hungover, like blackout drunk the night
That's-
before.
That's
And
very true.
Wake up all morning, miraculous recovery by like 1 or 2 p.m. and then like crush it that next night.
Yeah, I've had stuff like that. Like, I remember at Trick Strong, I was like drinking like way early in the day, and I was just like feeling like shit by 11. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to sleep. And then for some reason, I just got a second wind at 1 o'clock or 2 a.m. And I just kept throwing down. Like at that point, I was like mostly sober, and I was like, oh, this is weird. I should not be feeling good.
Yeah.
But I guess along the same vein, I wanted to ask you because like this is something I've noticed is that whenever I switch gyms, it's I get like a burst of power. Like I'm so used to my home gym and I trick there all the time, and then I go visit like the SoFlo boys or some shit like that, and I trick at their gym, and it's like new, and like even if I've been there in the past, but it's been like a year or so or something like that, I like get a burst of energy. I don't know. Is that a thing that happens to you as well?
If you're tricking with a new group of people,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know, I think part
Yeah.
of it is like you wanna crush it in front of this new group of people you haven't been with before, in
Yeah.
some way.
They have to
Mhm.
know what they're working with, like, and you have to show them, like,
Yeah.
oh, like I'm X good, and it's kind of seen through how you like train.
There's some ego involved, even if you don't want to think
Yeah.
about it. I got to throw down at this new gym, these new people.
Yeah. I think it's a
Somewhat
subconscious. I think it's a subconscious thing. I mean, I think humans are very much programmed to like at least try to give a good first impression because we judge so many things off first impressions, whether we want to or not. Like, you know what I mean?
Just
Is
a natural human
yeah.
thing.
Exactly. It's not even like you have to be doing it consciously. It's just like we just kind of base it off the first thing we see, and like that's definitely happened to me at gatherings. Like if the first trick I see someone do is something fucking insane, I'd be like, "Whoa, that's a really good tricker." And then I could see like maybe a tricker that's even more amazing, but they're just doing like really basic shit to warm up. I'll be like subconsciously, I'll just be like, "Oh, like." Maybe I should pay attention to a dude who's like throwing down. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, where's that guy at? Where's Cody Leck at
Yeah.
at Neo?
Oh my
Cody.
god.
Cody who?
Cody Leck.
Cody.
Cody Black. Yeah. He's from outside Philly, but I've never met him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't met him either. We were just at Neo like the first day, and dude does like dub on Dead Floor, like
Yeah.
rap dub like in a combo, and I was like, who even is this guy? And it was just
You know what?
insane.
I think I have met him, but he was like a little kid at the time, so I
Yeah.
don't really remember him. My
Yeah,
mind's
'cause
just like a bunch of noob kids. I don't really remember. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until they get like good or older, I don't.
Yeah, because your home state's Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, I'm from Philly, and he's
Nice.
from like suburbs of Philly.
Nice. I'm living 2 hours outside of Philly now, so if you're
Yeah.
ever around,
Grand.
But yeah, no, I definitely get like I remember meeting Andrew Court way back when, like I want to say 15, and he was just doing like jackknives or whatever, and I was just like, I mean, he was cool. Like we talked, and it was great, but I did not expect him to get as good as he did. Like it's actually insane.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, something you least expect.
Mhm.
I think the kids that are really good, they get bored quick. That are like naturally good right from the start, they get bored.
I've noticed
they-
that before. Do you remember? Okay, specifically, do you remember Owen McIntyre?
Oh yeah.
He was an SGTF guy, and he had triple cork like very soon in his tricking career. Like I think he got it like super fucking quick, and I have not seen him at all. Like after that, I don't know. I mean, maybe he's still tricking. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I definitely have seen that firsthand where it's just like someone blows like gets really really good, and it's like okay, I'm bored. Like you know what I mean?
Goodbye. I did what I needed to do.
They don't appreciate it as much maybe because they didn't take that time and effort and
Because it came so easy, you didn't have to like. It's not as like sentimental to you because you haven't spent literally hours with that move, that concept. Gotten intimate with it to know it and be like understand the significance of triple cork or whatever.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's a very like psychological thing. Like it's like the more time you spend with something, the more like connected you feel to it. And it's like if you give it up, it's like you're throwing away all those hours of training.
Yeah.
Or all those whatever the fuck it might be. Like I don't know. I think of like, for example, people that get tattoos representing like certain beliefs or certain whatever the fuck you might think.
Certain
Those well, that I guess that too. But people who get tattoos like that, I think there's like a study that showed that they're like way less likely to change their mind about that certain belief. And I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense. They've committed to the point where they have permanent ink on them. Like of course they're going to be a lot more uncomfortable with like changing their beliefs about it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah. And like obviously that's like a little more of a negative point of view, while I think in tricking it's definitely a positive thing that's like we've invested all this time, we want to stick to it, we want to at least give back to tricking even if like we're not fucking shit up all the time, like you know what I mean? Um
Something that I think is also kind of interesting too, especially like for younger trickers who start later and are very good, and like like you said, they don't really have the perspective of caring about like dubs, right? Because it came easy to them. Um,
mhm.
so like another thing is like the fact that dubs at that point in time like maybe easier. So like if you were to start tricking today, dub is like considered far more easier than it was back in 2012,
Mhm.
2011.
Mhm.
And so like like triggers these days are just like are they're able to progress at a level and like a speed that like I feel like older triggers just didn't have because of what's already been done, and
Right.
that can help impart like affect what Frank was saying, like just not having cared so much because you didn't have to spend as much time learning it, etc., and it kind of just feeds on itself.
Mhm.
I can't imagine starting now, like Jose and all.
Dude, if I started right now, like even if I was the age I am, I probably would have triple cork so easy and like other shit like that because it's just the baseline. Like you know what I mean? It's just like that's just like if you have triple cork and other shit like that, it's like you're like a good tricker. You're not amazing, but you know.
Depending on your execution, of course.
Wait, what?
Depending on your execution.
Yeah, that's very true. That depends a lot. So, but yeah, I mean it's crazy. I just saw Shosei do the Shosei step like triple full swing triple cork. Shit was dumb.
Turner was just here for the weekend. We had bat gathering.
Sorry, what?
Ethan Turner, he was
Yeah.
just here. Jose for the weekend.
Mhm.
He's Superman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
He's
is
Superman.
incredible.
He's
He's on
Superman.
some other shit. Hmm.
Just,
It's
but I
it,
don't know. Ethan style is just so sick.
yeah,
He's
I agree. I agree with that. When I look at Shosei, like not to shit on Shosei, but like he does look a little stiff with his tricks. And like to me personally, like I'm just not as much of a fan of his aesthetics. While Ethan Turner is just like he's got the sharp ass kicks. He looks good when he transitions from one trick to another.
He's got the variations. He's got like the combo structure. He's just
Yeah,
he's
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 also
super.
got the transitions and the landing stances too. Like Frank was saying, I think Shosei does a lot of very predictable standard transitions where we've got Ethan Turner landing in various landing stances, doing various transitions out of them into
Hmm.
like
Yeah,
hard tricks too, like not just like basic, things, but he's doing like Shosei like level combos, and I say
Yeah.
like because I mean Shosei's just alien.
Yeah.
But
he's ridiculous. He just can always get to his feet, like
yeah,
no matter what. I think I saw him fall once this weekend.
Yeah. He's a
He
fucking cat.
just always gets to his feet. He just
finds a way to put them beneath him.
Yeah. So
yeah.
okay, so this brings me to like a question I want to ask you, Alex, is what do you think is like how tricking is going to keep progressing? Like are we just going to keep adding more and more twists? Are we going to start changing combo structures? Are we going to do altogether new things? Like what is it a mix of those things? Like what do you foresee for the future of tricking?
Yeah, I'd actually think this is a great question for Alex, because he's been in the game for like forever, and you'll just have a lot of perspective. You've seen, tastes and styles change and like tricking overall. So
Mm-hmm.
Good question. I think people are just going to keep getting, first off, more and more efficient with their technique. An example is like Tikiwa.
mhm.
Oh yeah.
So he's so efficient with it. He's so, I don't know how to explain it. So good at like standing up and
Oh yeah.
flipping, and that eventually, like, I think there's going to be a lot of kids that can just do like 10 double corks in a row and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe
Easily.
the Tiki will do it. Tiki and Johan and Ethan, like those kids will do it first. And then I think people just catch on more and more to exactly what the most efficient, like scientific, objectively best way to do
Yeah.
Mhm.
at least like swings in power,
Yeah.
Right.
and you know,
Well,
quad.
I remember one time. So what you just said kind of brings me to a discussion that when I was talking to Nick Vale at in Colorado, we were kind of talking about how tricking has not yet gotten to the point where like, the NFL and other stuff like that, where not only do you have to be really talented and really strong and a bunch of other things, but you also have to like kind of win a genetic lottery and have all those things work for you and stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I think tricking is a little more varied, and I think it will take a lot more varied like body shapes and other shit like that. But basically almost anyone can just pick it up, and if they train hard enough and they know the technique enough, then they can get to the point where they can like triple cork or other shit like that, or get to like a halfway decent level. You know what I mean?
The cool thing about tricking is that if you have a certain body type, certain tricks are going to look way cooler with your body than someone else. Like Anis is long arms, really long legs. He does a cork round or like, I don't know, jackknife box cutter. It's just going to look way cooler than someone that's like short and stocky. It's just going to look cooler. So that's a cool thing about tricking. And Anis's body might not be the best suited for what Johan does or what Ethan does.
Right.
He has certain things that are just always going to look better and bigger.
Yeah.
Same with like Vivian, Yulu.
Yeah.
I think
I completely agree with that.
I think it's a good
so
point.
varied. Yeah.
Just that
Certain
like different body types will have different, areas that they excel in or otherwise, and
even different techniques
yeah
for getting into a trick. You know what I mean?
and additionally like style too, because like style is, I feel like style is something that you can't really like it's just something that is developed over time naturally, and like it's unique to each individual person, and like you can't can't force style, I don't think. Like I don't know, like because your body type and,
A lot to try.
yeah, I mean I feel like people do try for sure, so don't get me wrong,
I
like,
used to try.
yeah.
I think people don't get that style is not what you're doing though. It's not.
Yeah.
I'll see someone post like trying to get more style, working on my style and trying all these. So it's not like an objective. You do this move and put that move with it. Wow, style. It's
Right.
really...
No, it's like it's more like
you
how
do a
you
cookie
move.
cutter combo.
Yeah.
Objectively cookie cutter combo, but you can have amazing style.
Okay. What's your rigorous definition of style? Like, what would you say? Because like I've
I think
heard
there's
it.
a rigorous definition. It's just
Yeah.
what to do.
I guess what I mean by that is like I've heard people use style and creativity interchangeably. I've heard people use style and cleanliness interchangeably. I've heard like just all these different things. Is it a mix of those things? Because I don't even know personally, to be honest. I think
I think it's like it's a good question.
to me, actually, okay, I think to me style doesn't say anything about what tricks you are doing. Like if I chose to do a cork this way, or sorry, if I chose to do a cork versus a full in this combo, like that's not really what style is. To me, style is like I could see a cheat 9 hook sideswipe TDR double cork from two people, and the difference between them is the style. Does that make sense?
That's pretty much what I said. It's
Yeah,
not,
I don't think you can force style. It's just how you look when you move and your body type and how that relates.
I think it's using your body type and what advantages you have, maybe like muscle wise with your body type, using that to your advantage the best way you can.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, to build off that, I actually met someone at Neo. His name was Will. Forgive me, I don't remember his last name. He's from Pennsylvania as well, actually.
Forgiven.
Huh?
Forgiven. Keep going.
Yeah. So he has a long ass torso and like short legs and stuff like that. And when I saw him tricking, he was just doing the weirdest fucking Gumby shit. He actually does a lot of the same stuff you do, I would say. Like it's just like he's like a wet noodle when he moves. I don't know. It's like it's cool, but it's like beautiful, and like that to me is like his style. He's like using his body type to his strength, like you were saying, Alex. And I think that's really cool whenever people could build off that instead of like trying to force something that might not be natural for your body or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's something, sometimes you have to force things to land new things too. And then later you clean it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
agree with that.
Not everything's always going to come out
Perfect the first try.
You have to,
Yeah.
learning new things is not always in the beginning.
For sure. No, I definitely agree with that. I also wanted to say that like I feel that with style, there's like when you talk about style, there's just so many like like because style isn't related to any specific tricks. Like you could be doing like basics or whatever, but that just like there's just so much room for creativity and like what you can do in tricking besides like powered tricks, and
Yeah.
that you can use your style. Like I mean, Alex Hunter, you're a perfect example. I mean, I know you can do power stuff, but like these days you typically focus on more creative and like freeform movement, or I guess, or like more hand stuff on the floor, which is great.
Hmm.
You know, but like that's what I'm saying. Like there's room for that in tricking. Like it doesn't always have to be like who's doing the coolest looking stockiest triple cork and the lankiest triple cork, or you know, or whatever. Like
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I have enough shuriken cutters. Someone asked me if I don't do that. I'm like, we have enough.
we haven't. Yeah,
I don't think we need one more.
yeah.
I'd rather
What
do things that like, other people aren't doing. We don't need another one.
for sure.
That's funny.
We got
So
enough for that.
yeah. So I know you're like somewhat into trick theory. I guess I'm just gonna bring it up while you're talking about shuriken cutter. Is like I've been talking a lot online about like trick theory, and I'm definitely like all for it. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some times where it's not perfect, but I think overwhelmingly it's a positive thing. But I've heard people use the argument that trick theory limits creativity, and I don't really believe that. Like they would say like, oh, because Shuriken Cutter has this name and because Dub Dub has been named and shit like that, people are gonna want to replicate it and do it all the time and do it like I think that would have happened whether they were named or not, in my opinion. And like I don't know, that's kind of my position. I don't know how you feel though.
I think it limits tricking. How so?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't really understand
You're-
the
By quantifying it, it's then limited because if you can count all that you can do, I mean, then like you only have limited possibilities. Is what is my assumption. I mean, I don't. I mean, I think the opposite. I'm more in line with like
something.
terminology expands.
I don't know if I agree with that. It's just naming something that you're doing. It's not.
yeah. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't know. I like to ask as many triggers as possible because like I don't know if there's something I'm missing. Maybe there is something that I don't quite understand in that kind of argument, but
It's also
I don't
just
get
good
the
to hear
limit thing.
different
It's just like
perspectives.
if you do something else no one's done, you name it. It's not limiting anything. You just rename it something new.
yeah. I
If you
mean,
get something new,
actually, if anything,
want.
I would actually say that like the tricking cultures, like you know how we nickname shit, like how Corkin became Snatch Cannon because the first person landed it was Tim Farley and he wanted to name it that. I would say that almost like incentivizes people to go out of their way to try new things in order to like get that name out there. It's like, oh, I named a trick. Isn't that crazy? Like, you know what I mean?
I feel
So,
like that's such a new tricker trap is like wanting to create something for tricking and like leave your mark on it. Because like I
Yeah.
definitely was like that in my first few years. Like, oh, what cool
Yeah.
variation or what cool like weird thing can I do to make
The
mhm.
thing is, as hard as you try to do that, if no one cares, it's not
Yeah.
gonna catch on.
The
it's like-
perfect example is Donut Boy. I think
What'd you say?
I said like a really great example is Donut Boy. Like, it's a trick, but who cares?
You're just done it, boy.
I think Nelson, we were actually talking about that last night. He said that he was actually trying to do Gainer Lone Star, but he like just wasn't good enough at flipping at the time.
Yeah.
Someone else saw it and like they thought it was super dope, and then it like caught on. So it wasn't even like I don't even think it was his favorite trick. He just like he was trying to do Gainer Lone Star, but couldn't really flip that well.
Yeah.
I'm
We were
not
talking
gonna
about that
lie.
last night.
I'm not gonna lie. Me and Jason have had whole sessions dedicated to Donut Boy.
Oh yeah. No,
Honestly,
unironically.
I've done like double Donut Boy. It's fun.
Dude,
Oh,
we've done,
yes!
we've done Donut Boy twist, but we not double Donut Boy. That's so hard.
Yeah,
You
I've
just
done-
hold on. You just keep holding.
that's the scary part. It's weird. I know it's not even close to a double flip, but holding it makes it feel like double flip to me. I don't know why. I think it's the weird axis it comes through, but like it's
Yeah.
just.
But yeah,
Um,
back to my point.
Mhm.
If it's dope enough, then people will like the world's first thing. Like if it's that dope, then you don't even need to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If it's that monumental and that different and new, and people care, then you don't have to say it. People will know.
Yeah.
people will know. Oh, that's Alex Hunter's trick. Oh, that's Jason's trick. Like you know what I mean? It's like yeah, exactly. No, I agree with that.
it speaks for itself, you know. I don't do hashtags or anything. Maybe I'd have a
Yeah.
lot more followers if I did, but I'm like,
I
if I'm
remember,
if I'm really that dope and people really like it enough, I'll get the followers and all that in time.
I,
yeah.
I,
You
I,
know?
I feel the same way. Like I'm not into like the whole social media aspect of tricking. And I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, if I'm dope enough, I'll just get followers. And then I'm not getting followers, and I'm like, I'm not dope enough.
So I also don't
um,
do like the brand deals and all that stuff. So I'm not like really pushing for it because I don't,
Yeah, don't care.
I don't have money on the line and
yeah.
paid ads and things like that. I don't
For
really
sure.
care.
I'm
Yeah.
not really trying to make money off tricking either. I like to I specifically went out of my way to make it a deal to not make money from tricking because to me tricking is like what?
Me too. I'm
Yeah.
not like against making money from it. I just enjoy it as a hobby.
No, I agree. It might be for other people. For me, like I really wanted something in my life that I love to do that was not because I needed money or anything like that, but just because like I want to have fun or because I want to move my body around or whatever the fuck it might be. So like I'm definitely on that boat. And in terms of like the hashtag thing, like that's I remember literally having a discussion with Mason like years ago. He's like, dude, you're almost at 1,000 followers. Like I think he was like, if you
I
just
think you
put
told me
like
that.
yeah, and he's like, if you just put a few more hashtags, like even if you just hashtag like parkour or like something else like that, like you just make it. You just
Dumbass.
get to 1,000.
Dumbass.
What?
Hashtag
Yeah, literally. And but I was just like, I don't know. To me, it's like I'd hashtag stuff. I hashtag tricking because I want people to find tricking, but like I'm not gonna hashtag parkour because I'm not doing parkour.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm not.
So,
I'm
Yeah.
not trying to get. It's almost clout chasing. I mean, it is cloud chasing. It is literally cloud chasing. I mean, I was
I
gonna
like
say that
hobby.
I too share the idea that like I'd rather not make money from tricking. I mean, I don't think that making money from tricking is evil or like anything like that. And I definitely think that pro trickers like Michael Guthrie, who've spent like their lifetime training, should be able to be compensated for like how good they are, and like they should get like the deals or whatever. But for me personally, I wouldn't want that because, like you said, it like puts money on the line, and it's like it almost starts to become like it starts messing with your livelihood, and like it can ruin what beautiful like fun thing tricking is, and make it like this thing where it's like now I have to trick, or if I don't trick, I don't get paid and I don't eat, or or
yeah.
whatever. Like it can really just like turn what true, honest, like pure fun tricking is, and into something that could be something that's not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love it. I love it as a hobby.
Yeah.
I
And
do
if
too.
you're injured, you can't work.
What's that?
Yeah,
If you're injured, you can't work.
Yeah.
yeah, that does fucking suck. Exactly.
Also for my job that I'm doing now, I have to I can't get injured. So I have to be more careful when I trick.
Oh, is it still the dog walking job?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
walking people's dogs. I bring them to the park, play with them.
I'm
Bring
not
them
gonna.
home.
That's such a dream
I
fucking
was just
job.
about to say, that sounds cushy as fuck, bro. Sign me up, please.
Dude, I walk 12 to 15 miles a day though.
That sounds
That's really
awesome.
good though.
That's a
So
great way
the
to stay active and
the
fit.
climbing and that,
Yeah.
my legs are, yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna get heart disease, that's for sure.
Alex and
So-
I are out here doing the most.
What's that?
I said you're just doing the most. 'Cause
Dude,
you're,
it's, a lot.
you're walking.
It's in San Francisco. It's a lot of hills too. The first
Yeah.
half of my day is like a lot of hills.
Yeah. Okay,
that's
so
that's 5 days a week. Yeah.
yeah, damn, that's crazy. I just love dogs, so that's awesome.
It's sick. I'm not in
yeah.
office. I'm not behind a desk.
Yeah, that's true. That gets really depressing really quick. That's why it's like I'm not
Never had
looking. What's up?
I was just saying I've never had a desk job. Like I don't think I could do it.
I haven't either. I've been up and down a lot with my jobs. That's why I'm like I'm going to medical school and I'm like I'm not looking forward to like all the notes I have to do and all the typing, but I'm glad I'll be like at least yeah, I'll at least be getting up and talking to people. But anyway,
I currently have a desk job, and I actually kind of like love it because I don't have to
I mean, everyone's different. I'm
Yeah.
talking about me personally.
No,
Me
I
personally.
hear you. I hear you. I just like as long as I can get up and get outside of the office at some point, like I'm pretty
Yeah.
okay. But like, yeah, I
I
don't mind.
understand it's like it's probably stable, it's safe, it pays, but I just
Mhm.
Yep, I hear you.
Yeah. All right.
Not
Well,
for
we've been getting off topic, so I guess to bring it back, I want to keep talking about the future of tricking. So, refresh me on what you said. It'd just be like basically more
Just
twists, more.
refining tech and stuff, I believe.
Oh
Like
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I think people
optimizing.
will keep messing with. They'll keep taking more and more tricks from like capoeira and like breakdancing and all these other things. And like, you know how
I agree.
reverse out and helicoptera is like the last
Hmm.
like 3 years. It's all it's like reverse out helicopter. It's
Yeah,
all you see. I think people will keep taking tricks from that and like just but even harder stuff and keep mixing it in with tricking. Those
yeah.
other disciplines
That's actually
and then keep
something.
mixing it.
Uh-huh.
What's that?
That's actually something I never considered because, like, me and Jason have talked about the future of tricking a few times, and we have a few theories. Like, I really do think that ambi tricks are going to become a thing at some point because, like,
Yeah.
that's just gonna fuck like in the same combo. You know what I mean? Is like I think that would be sick as hell. I think like to me, it's like there's gonna be some kind of human limit. I don't think we're probably really close to it yet, but and there's got to be like a cap somewhere in terms of like how much you flip and twist, right? And so like maybe we'll get to coin cork, maybe we'll get to whatever, but at some point we have to like expand past that and not just focus on twisting more. We have to like you know what I mean transition in
But the thing is,
different.
there's so many trickers though. So many humans and trickers that we can have people that just focus on quint core, just focus on
Yeah.
this, and still have people doing other things too.
That's my ideal tricking. I mean, that's kind of what tricking is right now. Is like you have people that do focus on the power moves and do kill it like that, and then you have like your Cody Joneses where they just do weird shit, and
Yeah.
it's cool. Jordan Alexander, who like he's powerful and he does weird shit and weird transitions and stuff like that. So it's like,
It's all together.
yeah, it's cool to see. But I
Now
think
you
like,
can turn all around. Yeah.
well, that's what I'm saying. Is like definitely I see like top trickers in the future being more well-rounded. Not that they aren't well-rounded already, because they fucking are, but like just the most diverse pool of tricks. But then they can execute it really well, and they can transition from one to another, like insane, like doing weird transitions like miss leg or rapids or whatever the fuck. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it sounds cool.
I think also I always wonder like if there's anything similar like cork swings and gainers and all these setups. It's like just as cool, maybe even just as like efficient. We just haven't even thought of it yet. They could like do a bunch of them in a row. It's like how has no one even thought of this? This is so like natural and so much momentum. But like it's not a cork, it's not a beat twist, it's not a gainer switch. It's not.
Muggle Slayer.
It's Muggle Slayer.
It's Muggle Slayer.
Yeah, that's too hard though.
No, that's really hard.
That would come easy, like, give you easy momentum that we just haven't even thought of. But like it's not even that complicated. We're just like, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Well,
I
I actually have.
I just want to
Sorry.
say really quick to all our listeners at home that we just got the Alex Hunter seal of difficulty on the Muggle Slayer just now. So
Yeah, so go on and do the Muggle Slayer.
certified hard.
Yeah. And name but it better be Muggle Slayer.
Okay.
But anyway,
Sorry for that. I just had to. I felt like it was significant enough.
yeah, I actually agree with you in terms of the like finding out more efficient ways to do things. Because I think front swings for the longest time were behind this wall. Like we used to carry through into like rise type tricks, and like eventually we found out how to front swing, and it became a really efficient rise, and then we kept going from there. I think in a similar way with Muggle Slayer specifically, we're gonna find a way that maybe me and Jason haven't even thought about to get into Muggle Slayer that'll make it so much easier, so much more efficient, or you could dub it or whatever the fuck it might be. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Well, and
Is
this
like-
same concept too, like finding unique setups, because like while we talk about Muggle Slayer as like our go-to like difficult weird trick, like tricks like Croc, which are much more feasible and like comprehensible, like exist and are still hard to get to on their own. So like I'm hoping that one day we'll find like a really comfortable setup for things like Croc, and it'll be like, whoa, why haven't we always been doing this? And like a really good example is like I was watching Frank do like hyper gumbies and swinging into like a Croc gainer, so like a left leg swing gainer.
Do that on floor.
Yes, yeah, and it's fucking beautiful. And I'm like,
you.
Dude, he needs to be doing that to Croc. And
Yeah. I want to, because that's my best setup to get, because right leg gainers are just, I still need to really get the hang of it. But I want to eventually like start doing crocs on floor, because I really do think that that is eventually where tricking is going to go to. Like we're going to be seeing croc in swing combos. Like, you know what I mean? Is people are going to croc swing.
Seamlessly blending both sides.
Yeah, that's one
Yeah.
hope for where I would like tricking to go. I also really liked your idea, Alex, of getting pulling moves from more of our or pulling more moves from our like the sports that we pull
Our
in from.
cousins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Our cousins is probably the best way to describe it. Because like I was talking to Frank, and I think I talked about this a little bit when we were talking to Brendan, but like I just love how like Wushu has this move, the B twist, and like I imagine it's like very highly revered and everything, but then we've got like 13-year-olds just like throwing triple B twists like it's nothing, completely bastardizing the whole process, and like I don't know, like just years of work has been spent formulating the B twist, and now we've got like just some random kid doing triples.
The difference is that the purpose of tricking, at least to a lot of people, is pushing as far as you can. The purpose of wushu is not
Yeah,
pushing acrobatics as far as you possibly can. So,
Yeah.
and that's a good difference, and I don't mean to like I don't know. I think of it more like comedically than something like serious, but
It's pretty fucking funny.
yeah, like wushu masters are just like trained their whole lifetime for double, and then there's Shosei and John Vanek triples.
Yeah. I do think Alex Hunter hit the nail on the head though, because like, I mean, in our battles episode, we talked about this exact thing that like gymnastics, it is boundary pushing. Don't get me wrong. Like they do new shit and it's wild as fuck, but they definitely value cleanliness a shit ton more than trickers do.
Yeah.
Like that's the like trickers really like I would say our primary focus is almost like boundary pushing. Like in all fronts. I mean like adding twists, adding new moves, adding different
New
ways to do
transitions,
things.
new landing stances, or new ways to do those things. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like boundary pushing is like the main idea of tricking, and cleanliness is like the main idea of gymnastics. Like it's a big deal if you like hop 3 times after a double back and
you don't even go off 1 foot.
yeah, literally. It's like, oh shit, like they fucked up. It's like they just did like I don't know, dubbing full out. Like you know what I mean? It's like chill.
That's not how they think of it, though.
I was
What?
That's not how they think about it, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I'm saying. We just value different things, and there's nothing wrong with either point of view. It's just that difference exists.
I was gonna say that I feel like tricking does incentivize a lot of. Do you think that tricking incentivizes a lot of boundary pushing? Sorry, boundary pushing because it's such a new sport, and it's like, oh well, we want to see like how far can we take this, and people are still like trying to push, and
Yeah.
and I think where like gymnastics has been around forever, and like obviously there is incentive to do new stuff like we've been talking about, but they are also like highly value consistency or cleanliness.
So wait, what was your question?
Just that tricking is like do you think that tricking being so young, like trying to still get established even today, like 20 years plus,
Is the reason we have boundary pushing? Is that what you mean?
Do you think that's why it's so highly incentivized? Is because of how new and how young tricking is, and
I think so. It's
at
there's
least
no
has a good-
rules. There's no rules. There's no one judging you, and it's just really fun to do things like that people haven't done, and like just push yourself as hard as you can.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely shows in your tricks.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
and speaking of your tricks, so me and Alex have always had this discussion about, like, while we're on topic of the future of tricking, that, like, the future of tricking is going to be touching your hand down during certain tricks. And he was like, yeah, you're going to see cork snapu, but your hand is going to touch down while you swipe, and then you're going to gyro. So it's like if you imagine TDR gyro, kind of like that, but like with corks. And it's like, I mean, you just do weird shit. Like, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. But I see almost a hint of that. And I do see that as a potential forward for tricking in the future. It's like this weird shit. That's like.
Could be a lot of specialists, a lot of different categories and specialists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree.
Yeah, I was having this conversation too earlier about there was a rock climber at the gym, and he was saying how we were telling him about tricking, how he was watching like karate flips the other day, he said karate flips, and he's like, dude, I always wanted to learn. I didn't even know it existed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So just like how many people there are that they might even already flip, maybe cheer or free running or gymnastics, and they've always wanted to do tricking. They just didn't even know it existed. I think there's a lot.
That's that's what happened to me. I did taekwondo for the longest time and like I enjoyed it. But I also knew there's something that was like kind of missing from it. I'm like, I want to do a little bit more or whatever the fuck. And like I knew about parkour and I was like, that's cool, but like not quite it. And then a friend of mine told me like what tricking was. And I was like, that is actually exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah. I
Like,
think there's a lot of that.
yeah.
There's so many people that would love to do it and they just don't
No,
even know.
Yeah.
You know, they find out really late. Like, I wish I knew about this when I was like 15.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
crazy how crazy tricking is, but it's still nobody knows about it. Like
Yeah.
even other, acrobats
Yeah.
don't know about it. A
Other
lot do.
movement sports stuff.
They don't even know about it, and it's so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's
guess
interesting.
yeah. So, Alex, you've been in the tricking community like a really fucking long time. And I've seen a lot of pros like go in and out and people drop it for different reasons and stuff like that. And I'm just like wondering what has kept you involved in tricking versus like all these other, and not to shit on these other people, like, you know what I mean? Maybe they had all jobs or something else going on. Yeah, shit on them. Never mind.
Fuck them.
But you know, they might have other stuff going. But I don't know. Whenever people tell me like, "Oh, I quit tricking because like I adulted, like I got kids and I had all this stuff," I always find that to kind of be an excuse or like there had to be something else going on because like I don't know, like I'm not trying to like brag or anything like that. But when I was in my senior year of college, like I had clinical rotations I had to do, and I had a job, and I had homework, and I had all this shit, and I still was able to set aside time to go to the gym. Like I was, like probably
Dedicated.
yeah, I was working like 60 or 70 hours a week. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't absolutely killing it. I wasn't leveling up all the time, but I wanted to at least trick.
You're keeping up with it, though.
Yeah.
Keeping up
Yeah.
with your films at some level, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I don't know. I guess what's your perspective on just all of that, like in terms?
Probably love it more.
Yeah, like
I mean, there are people. I'm sure there's people who like had a kid or two, and they got to work to support. And they love it, but they actually don't have the time. That is some people,
yeah, no, that is a genuine thing. I could see like if someone has to work like 2 jobs for like 80 hours a week and they have their kids at home and something else.
Not that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, a lot of the time, we probably just are actually more into it. We just love it more.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing it since I was 10 or 11. I'm 29, so
Yeah.
That's wild. You're about to be 20 in tricking.
yeah. I mean, it's a majority of my life. It's like I don't know. It's just like part of me. It's just
Yeah.
I can't stop if I wanted to.
That's how I feel about it. Is that like tricking is just I want to be like it's similar to like the drive that you're describing, Frank. Is the desire to just keep tricking, even if it's not your best sessions, even if it's whatever. Like tricking can fucking suck, but like the fact that I'm still out here moving, doing what I love, like just not losing that original that like base love for the sport, I guess, that all of us have is like probably the most important and staying active and
Yeah, and it's therapy too. Having a
Oh,
bad
yeah.
was on my mind and have a good session. I'm like, that thing I was stressing about really not that important. What's important is that I have a healthy body and
Yeah.
I'm alive and breathing. I have a healthy body.
Yeah.
Well, it puts things into perspective of what's important.
yeah.
I completely agree with you. I would actually compare it a lot to meditation, weirdly enough. Like I've been reading a lot on Buddhism and about other things like that. And like a lot of what meditation teaches is not just like sitting there, right? It's like being in the present. It's like hearing all the noises that are going around you, not thinking about the future, not having your mind clouded by different things. And to me, like tricking is very much that. Like when I'm in the air doing a literal cork, what the fuck else can I be thinking about except for holy shit, I need to land? Like, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
E-dub.
you're quite
Everything else.
Mhm.
I'm not
Exactly.
thinking of anything really. Well, sometimes lately I'm trying to think like point my toes. sometimes. But
Yeah. But you're actively trying to do that, like as it's happening. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's in the present is really what I'm trying to get
You're
down
there,
to.
yeah. You're focusing actively
Yeah. Which
hmm
on that specific thing in regards to tricking.
a lot of people don't have that
Yeah.
yeah.
in general, and they're like, I don't have something that
Uh,
does that.
Alex, actually, you said something earlier. Like you said that you use rock climbing to kind of like keep you motivated and tricking, like keep you inspired or keep you excited. I think was actually really what you said. Um,
Yeah,
and I think that's probably one of the most important things too, is because Frank and I have discussed multiple times like losing like motivation, like the excitement of going to gym each week like quickly fades away when you can go to gym every single week without any issue or whatever, and like like, oh, it's just going to the gym, like I'm just putting in time or whatever,
it's
like
just routine, yeah.
yeah, less so like being excited and like there for tricking, I guess. And I think that having an alternative sport like you were saying where it is fresh, it'll definitely help improve like your own long-term activity in the sport.
longevity. I like being a noob in something new too, though.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like the feeling of like I'm really bad at this. I'm getting better, but I'm a noob still. I
Yeah.
like that feeling of starting a whole new journey,
Yeah.
learning the lingo, picking things up, seeing myself get better. It's kind of it's humbling.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. It's humbling and at the same time like I've had that thing where I don't know, I'm weird. I like to play the beginnings of video games a lot. Like to me it's just really fun. Like most people hate intro levels. But I just think they're like I don't know, it's like basic, but it's like you're starting to get it and then you're picking stuff up really quick. Like yeah, you're not like getting amazing, but it's like you're leveling up a lot and blah blah and you get this skill. And to me it's like whenever I'm picking up a new skill, I will like there's an initial I suck, and then at some point I get like a bunch of newbie gains and I get really like I expand my tricking or my knowledge on whatever the fuck it might be, and it just feels good to like having like learning that new thing, because in tricking when you've been doing it for years it's hard to like learn something new every session or something like that, like you know what I mean. So depending on what you're doing,
I was
but
I was gonna say I think that at the same like because I agree that there are like limited numbers of things sometimes that if or it may feel that way, but I
mhm.
also was gonna say that like I like to learn or expand my own like tricking stuff because like I've done tons of stuff in my time tricking, but like
Mhm.
there are still like tons of tricks that I haven't learned or that I want to learn
That
or
I
that are
haven't
like
even touched.
yeah, tricks that are just weird. Like I don't really do D legs, but like I would like to do them. One example of like a trick that I'm trying to learn lately, and Frank knows this all too well, is front handsprings and stuff, and
Yeah,
like more like forward twisting gymnastic style tricks because I think that those are really fresh and no one's really doing those in tricking, and like it definitely feels very like I definitely feel like I have to start over a lot of my progressions that I've like already established for other tricks to learn like front handspring and stuff, and because it's just so different than everything else.
there's always more.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
There's
literally.
all more.
Yeah, but I mean, we're getting at the 45 minute mark. I mean, do you guys have any like closing remarks you'd like to say?
I'm
Like any specific things?
not sure.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I don't know. Biggest takeaway for at least I just want to stress how much I think that Alex, you are still somehow at the verge of what tricking can do, even 19 years into the sport. And I think that's just saying a lot for like people who want to keep doing it and stuff like that. It's like, don't try not to lose that motivation. Like if you truly love it, I mean, like, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? Is like tricking isn't just expanding those boundaries. It's not like you don't have to be the very best, like, but like just try new shit. It's cool. Like, you know what I mean?
stopped years ago. I was only still doing like double backs and corks and gainers. I'm like, already, I maxed out all this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're way better than me at this point. At that, not that it's about that, but
No.
Mm,
I think I'd get bored of it if it was just for that. So I kind of
right.
think my tricking, like I've had a lot of different tricking lives, a lot of different
Yeah.
Yeah.
versions of myself.
Yeah. Well, in 20 years of tricking, I think that is only natural to have phases like that. Because I've definitely had phases, and I've only been tricking half as long as you. But I mean, for sure. And that's actually another thing I wanted to talk about with you. Maybe we'll save it for like another episode. But I want to talk about like, because I mean, let's face it, back in 2009 to 2011 or 2012, forgive me if the time frame's not perfect, but I mean, like you were at the top. I mean, you were the world's third triple quirk, something like that. And like,
Yeah.
I mean, like you were killing it. World's first TD Rise double back. I mean, like your list of accomplishments goes on and on. And now, like you're still active in tricking, and you couldn't care less about those things. And that's such like as someone who really, especially early on, cared a lot about landing power tricks and like staying good and staying relevant or whatever. And like I know this is mostly mindset stuff, but like
Mhm.
you know, I wanted to pick your brains on like how you go from being like literally at the top and you know being great,
In
and
the
not
in
that you
terms of the power.
yeah, and not that and for the time because I know like triple cork now is nothing, but like I mean like I said, you were world's third triple cork, which is significant, and I mean like I'm not saying that like something happened that like you're not nearly as good, and I'm sure if you wanted you could even excel past those points or whatever, but like you just don't like you've told me you just don't care, like you know you're not
Mhm.
interested in doing the dubs like you know like that's boring. You'd rather do
I
something
just
that
got it. I got
yeah
injured, dude. Injuries.
yeah
Mhm. That's a real
Okay.
thing. You gotta take care of your body
yeah
as you get older.
I could double back again, but like I think the last double back I did was a few years ago, and I landed like really low, like in a squat kind of, and my knee, which I'd already like had a partially torn ACL, I like did the crazy wiggle, and I didn't trick for like 6 or 7 months, and it's like just for one double back that I know I've done 1,000 times already.
yeah
Now I can't do anything for 6 months because of this stupid double back that I was only doing to hype up one of the younger kids to do it.
yeah
Yeah. Oh
That's
my
so like
gosh.
I really don't care about that stuff. Like now I lost all these months of like these other things I could have been doing for stupid double back that I've done a million times.
yeah
Yeah. I
You
think
know?
that's a good mindset to have. Yeah.
And
I
like,
agree.
like I might have a session where I randomly do like a really strong double cork, and I'm like, oh, I think I can dub dub, and I'll just do it. It's
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
nothing's set in stone. Like I'm done with dub dubs. I'm done with this. And life's not like that. Nothing's set in stone. It's like
Yeah.
moment to moment. I can just feel great one day and
Yeah.
act up and just do it.
I think you're flexible, not in a physical sense, but you're flexible, and I think that's one of the more important traits that a tricker should have, in my opinion. Is
Yeah.
I got
oh,
nothing. Nothing's set. I'm not. I don't identify with like I'm this. I'm that.
mhm.
Like even the quit tricking thing is silly to me because like I quit tricking. It's like oh, well, for weeks I might be like, wow, that was dope. I want to try that. I'm gonna go to the gym.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I think you're right. Quitting tricking is the biggest
Silly.
bullshit statement ever.
Yeah.
But as always, thank you to Steve Rogers for our intro song,
Stephen French?
and yep, and thank you to Alex Hunter
Dude,
for being our logo.
dude, this is actually perfect because we can thank Alex Hunter in person. So, Alex, I just wanted to say thank you for letting us use your silhouette for our logo because
Oh yeah.
like it's actually like perfect. So, just thank you so much, bro.
Yeah,
Thanks
I'm
for
a big
using
fan of how it turned out.